Township, 77, I met a man. Matter of fact, I met him in Moon Township on Oak Haven Drive at Eric Miller's house. His name was Mike. The name he went by is Mike. Was Mike. His name wasn't Mike. I probably couldn't pronounce his real name. It's an Enochian language, as we call it. The forerunner of Sanskrit. Enochian. The ancient Enochian, not the bullshit modern day crap with black magic and all kinds of stuff associated with it. But, yeah, I met Mike at Eric's house. He was a boarder. He lived there for about $100 a month. Mrs. Miller had MS, and her husband had just abandoned the family a couple years before that, and left them all on their own devices. The Miller family had to make ends meet, so they rented out rooms to strangers for $100 a month. Room and board. One or two meals a day and shelter. Bargain. Pretty stupid because Kurt Miller and Mrs. Miller, Darla, ended up being murdered at age 2 by one of those boarders. True story. It was in all the Pittsburgh papers. It might have been 83. Matter of fact, it was probably 1983. Turn my heart out. Rip my heart out. Anyhow. That was hard. I met a man from a distant land. He stressed a point that I am that I am. He was a fur man with eyes of flame. And the powers he possessed put me to shame. He said, you can do what I do, Lee. The secret lies in your brain capacity. Well, we drove around his compact car. And we talked of life on his distant star, on the planet, not the star itself. The planet around the star. And time seemed to stop, you see, for Mother Shakti was flowing through me. Then he stressed the point that I must relate, that man should not have to reach the pearly gates. In other words, he shouldn't die. Only mankind on earth dies, usually.
True.
And he's spoken past civilizations on Jupiter and on Mars. Are the ditches, the ditches on the fourth planet, Valskars? The Earth may suffer a similar fate. It's in the Bible, but they won't set a date. And they will spin Earth, if need be, to put it back on track. Because that's more important than we are, the planet. And if we will explode, and if so, will we ever be allowed back? Yes, I met a man from a distant land. He may be high with the touch of this hand right there. Boom. He told me that his brake capacity was about 66%. And I happened to ask him, what was mine at? Approximately. Would you happen to have a gauge? No. He said, well, yours is about 25%. I said, oh, I'll be darned. Interesting. I'd take that with a grain of salt and tuck it away.
Mike achieved over 96% brain capacity. That's how he went on to the next ascension.
I just left Arizona State University spring break to make a long trek across country to meet him. I just didn't know that was going to happen, but boy, did that happen. As a matter of fact, I never told this for a while. I met him on a Wednesday. The following Friday, I was driving. I was in Ohio, and it was 7:30 at night. I was driving down Interstate 76 at the Worcester Road exit. Worcester Road, yeah, Worcester Road North. Well, the Worcester Road that cuts into the 276. And I looked up right in front of me. In plain sight was a UFO. About 200 feet away and about 200 feet high. So it wasn't very far away and wasn't very high. It was about 25 feet in diameter and just floating like a frisbee floats. Yeah, that's solid and had portholes, quotes, portholes around it that pulsate. It was just getting dark, and it was like a marquee sign that has the lights around the outside of the sign, and it goes, one or two or three lights at a time. Light, but the lights were going like that around the UFO. Nobody else seemed to be able to see it. Just me. I pulled over. I pulled off the highway. Which road exit to a gas station. Shine my headlights at it, that kind of stuff. I hopped I'm going to Madeline Teagle's house right now. If you're Mike, follow me. Let's go. I'll hop in my car, and sure enough, they followed. I could watch it in my rear view mirror for about 15 minutes. Turn around, I could see it for a while. Then I lost it. I was the first person there. I jumped out of my car, then I jumped up on her porch. I jumped around, and I landed. Came crashing out of the house. And both of us at the same time said, "You wouldn't believe what I just saw." Well, that's what I said. And she goes, "Lee, you wouldn't believe who I was just talking to on the phone." And I went, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on now. You go first." Holy shit, she got a phone call. Mike. And he called her. Maybe that's something we're supposed to do. I don't know. But stores information. Who knows what's in there? I don't. Probably some massive